In this video, we are going to get a little bit more practice with variables. You'll be creating a new class and defining all of the variables of it. There'll be a short pause, and then I'll show you a solution for one way for how to complete that. So go ahead and hop into Unity, go into your scripts folder, and let's actually right-click and create a new C# script. And I'm going to call this like pet, P-E-T. Hit enter. Let the script compile. And then let's actually, on our cube, let's get rid of the main script. You can just hit the checkbox here to disable that, or you can hit the 3 dots on the side and choose, which you probably can't really see, but choose remove component. And that will get rid of the main script on the cube. And then add component. We're looking for our pet script that we just made. And there it is, our pet script. So go ahead and double click your pet script and open that up in Visual Studio. Okay, so here we are in our pet script, and what I want you to do is I want you to define the traits of what a pet is. So imagine maybe you're creating a program for like the Humane Society, and this script is going to have all the information for a generic pet that like could be adopted or fostered or whatever that is. So the variables that I'd like you to define and assign random values to are every pet has a name. So create a variable for the name of the pet. Every pet has an age, and maybe every pet has a unique ID number that is maybe like in the system, so that if whatever, you're a Humane Society admin, you could put the number in and look up information about Fido or whoever that is. You could also have a variable type for any like health concerns, maybe. I don't know. What else? Maybe actually a variable for a description of the pet itself, like just a little description that's maybe front-facing that potential adoptees have. And the last variable will be a variable for has been adopted. And that could be a true or false one. I think I'm setting it up to be true or false, but it could also be like a string. There's other variable types we'll get into later, but like if you know other variable types, like what an enum is, maybe has been adopted would be a good enum, because you could have different levels of like yes, no, or pending, or other information. But for now, probably this will be a bool. And the last thing that I don't expect you to actually assign, I just want you to figure out how to create a variable type for this, but no need to print out information. A variable for an image, like a sprite icon perhaps, or an image file, something like that, because probably there would be images of the pet on their website. Okay, after you create all of these variables, I'd like you to go into Start, and I'd like you to print out information using these variables. And that information can be in one long text, like this pet's name is Fluffy and their age is 13, or it can be like we did in the challenge before, where it's each individual debug.log for each information, whatever that you think is reasonable. Okie dokie, so go ahead and pause the video here, try the challenge as best as you can on your own. You can also paste your code in the comments below, and I'll do my best to help you out if I see it. Otherwise, I'm going to show you a solution in just a sec. So pause that video. I'm gonna awkwardly. Okay. All right, hopefully you figured it out. If not, we're gonna go through a solution right now. Let's create a variable for the name of our pet. It's a private string, and I'm gonna call it pet name. And for now, I'm gonna set that equal to the name of my pet, who is Nim. We need an age, so I'm gonna make that a private integer, since age is usually a whole number, but it could be a float if you wanna factor in like months or whatever. I'm gonna call it pet age, and Nim is 14. An ID number, so we'll say private int pet ID, and I could just set that to a random number. That's gonna equal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's say private, I guess, string, health concerns, and we're gonna set that equal to a string, and maybe I'm actually just gonna leave that blank. Maybe we'll assign the health concerns in Start, and again, I'll say private string description, private bool has been adopted, and we'll set that equal to true since she's my kitty. And lastly, a sprite icon or an image file. This is a different data type than you've seen, so you might have had to Google to find the solution, but we will say a private sprite, and we will call it like pet icon. And I'm just gonna end it with a semicolon. Okay, now that we have all of these variables, let's go ahead and print out information. But the first thing I also wanna do is I wanna define her health concerns, and I wanna define the description of the pet. So I'm going to say health concerns equals a string, which would be like too fat to jump. And then the description, so we will say description equals string. And we can just say like, this cat hates people unless you are Anna. Food motivated, loves trash, loves a good cinder block. She's a weirdo. She don't like other toys. Needs a retirement home. And then at the end of that long statement, end it with a semicolon. Okay, so I've defined the variables that I didn't define above start here. I could have also defined them in the inspector. And now let's print out information. So I'm going to say one long line. I'm going to go debug.log, and we're going to start printing information. So I'm going to go name plus pet name. And then I'm actually going to make it even longer. I'm going to add another plus sign, and then we will add more text. So dot, so that's her name, age, and append that to pet age, and then add a period, and then say health concerns, and then we will add health concerns, and then maybe that'll be the end of my first statement. The next one will be debug.log description, and then append description. And lastly, debug.log, I will say available to adopt, and then append the has been adopted. There we go. Save your script once you're happy with what you've got. And here I can zoom out. It'll be pretty small. There we go. So that's what the whole script looks like. And let's go into Unity and hit play and see what it says. Make sure once again that your script, your pet script, is attached to something. So for me, it's attached to the cube. And you'll notice because all my variables are private, the pet script right here is showing no variable information. Go ahead and hit play, and we will see what the console prints out. Okay, so the console here has printed a lot of information. It says name, Nim, age 14, health concerns, too fat to jump. The description is printed out here, and if it's too long to read, you can click each of the console messages, and it will show you right down here. Available to adopt, true. Okay, so that concludes this quick challenge on Mastering Variables Part 2. In the next one, which might be our last one, no, actually, we'll do a couple more, I think. So in the next one, we're actually going to do a Mad Libs challenge using variables. All right. See you in the next one.